Sharpe James indicted. Welcome to New Jersey Now. I'm Jennifer Jordan. It comes 20 years after serving as mayor of Newark and 40 years after riots sent the city into turmoil. Sharpe James was indicted on 33 counts of corruption charges. What does it all mean for the current state senator and the climate of politics in the Garden State? My Nine's Christine Persichetti has more.
Innocent of all these charges, and I look forward to my day in court where the truth will be told.
Sharpe James walked out of the courthouse proclaiming his innocence. The former Newark mayor is accused of using taxpayer money for his own personal pleasure.
That Senator James used both his office as mayor and his office as state senator as a personal piggy bank.
Pages of the indictment detailing how prosecutors say James spent the city's money. $3,500 on a weekend getaway to Martha's Vineyard, nearly $700 to rent a Jaguar convertible during a trip to South Beach, almost $9,000 on a penthouse suite for a cruise, and he allegedly justified spending $1,400 on a trip to Punta Cana to see if the tropical gardens there could be replicated here near Newark's Penn Station. Do you deny using the credit cards for your own personal expense?
I think Mayor James has made an eloquent statement that is sufficient for the day.
The former mayor is also accused of splurging at the movies on the taxpayers' dime, spending more than $1,600.
Sharpe James was not even willing to pay $10 out of his own pocket to go to the movies.
Also accused in the indictment, Tamika Riley, who with the alleged help of James bought city land at low prices and then resold them for profit. This property, purchased for $2,000, sold 3 months later for $130,000. Riley was supposed to redevelop these properties. Instead, she's accused of flipping them, making hundreds of thousands of dollars. The U.S. attorney says the former mayor stole from city residents.
He was supposed to be their protector. He was supposed to be their champion. All he protected was his own wallet.
With me now are Democratic strategist Leroy Jones, who is a partner of 1868 Public Affairs, and Republican strategist George Ajjan, founder of Ajjan Associates and the 2004 Republican nominee for Congress. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us, Jen.
First question for you both. There have historically been questions over ethics and corruptions during the Sharpe James tenure. Why has it taken so long for these indictments to be unveiled?
Well, typically, the U.S. Attorney has a process, and that process, obviously takes, compiling of evidence and, statements from witnesses and, ultimately the presentation of its case and its indictment, which was done yesterday, which came on, the most unfortunate of days because Newark was celebrating, 40 years after, very tumultuous period, with the Newark riots, and it's now another segment of turmoil, and tragedy for the city of Newark.
I mean, we're talking years here. I mean, in the mid-1990s, 2 of Sharpe James' former city council presidents were convicted of corruption. I mean, I'll ask you the same question. Right. Why so long?
Well, we're certainly not privy to the manner in which the attorney, Chris Christie, does his work. However, it's clear from an indictment that was numbered more than 80 pages that covered even incidents and alleged violations subsequent to Sharpe James's resignation from or departure from the office of the mayoralty of Newark. So, exactly why they chose to take this, there's a statute of limitations involved of 5 years. So why he chose to take this 5-year window versus others, we're certainly not privy to that. But he certainly compiled a lengthy list of allegations in an 80-plus page indictment.
Yeah, timing issue. These were unveiled on the 40th anniversary of the 1967 Newark riots. Bad timing, do you think?
Oh, absolutely bad timing. I was a youngster, growing up in Newark at the time of the riots. And, so many people, lost their lives. So many people were injured. It's certainly an unfortunate period, for the city of Newark back then. But, coming on the anniversary where we're kind of, recalling the events of 1967 and, trying to see Newark move on, and to a great extent, Newark has. And to have been hit with, another tragedy on the day of, its, 40th, anniversary of the Newark riots is, most unfortunate. One thing that we need to, also point out that no one should take great pleasure in what has occurred with the mayor, and certainly we want to make sure that we extend our well wishes to him and his family, and hope that they get through this without much harm.
Mr. Ajjan, since James is currently serving his last year term as state senator, he says he's not going to run for re-election. Should he resign right now?
Well, that's certainly for himself and I suppose his Democratic colleagues to discuss. Certainly, I think he ought to resign, given the severity of what's been alleged, and yeah, I mean it's a wallop that he's undertaken. And well, I mean, from a Republican perspective, certainly the Republicans would point to the fact that if he didn't resign, that's a blemish on the Democratic Party. So I would imagine that you and your colleagues would be putting pressure there.
It becomes political cannon fodder at this point.
I'll ask you the same question, though. Should he resign?
I think an indictment is simply an allegation. In this country, we're innocent until proven guilty. He has the opportunity now, and he will present his defense, on all those counts and all those allegations. And if it doesn't disrupt, his service as a state senator, I think it's perfectly okay. I think a resignation would be perhaps an admission of guilt, and that's something that I'm sure he's certainly not prepared to do, and I'm certainly sure he's going to present a plea of not guilty.
But the bottom line here is, what does this indictment mean for the city of Newark, especially for the current mayor, Cory Booker, who says the city has been in financial ruin because of the former mayor?
Well, that's typically what individuals indicate coming into office. Newark has its challenges before it. I think the current mayor has certainly with degree of wisdom has decided not to comment on the events that have just recently taken place. Newark has an uphill battle from a fiscal standpoint. Where you lay the blame, that's neither here nor there. What I believe needs to happen is community leaders, elected leaders need to come together and, galvanize an effort, to move the city forward. There have been successes in Newark. There have been, mishaps. But I think going forward, the city and its leaders and, and its elected, community needs to galvanize and move the city ahead.
I think Cory Booker, as you suggest, demonstrated good behavior yesterday and didn't really gloat over the situation, but he's got to personally be feeling a sense of vindication given what he went through competing with Sharpe James politically for so many years.
This is the third Newark mayor in a row to be indicted. First, Hugh Adonisio, then Kenneth Gibson. Why this trend, and why in Newark?
That's something that no one can explain. It does seem to be quite unfortunate that that's been the case for the last three mayors. It's a very, very powerful position. It's the largest city in the state of New Jersey. It's a big, big organization, and stuff happens. And obviously, we now have another chapter in this phenomenon.
I'd actually look at it differently. I think the extent to which Chris Christie has prosecuted corruption in both parties, and from one end of the state to the other, at the municipal level, at potentially county levels, at city levels, state levels. This is a problem facing all of New Jersey, not just Newark.
Right.
And there's other cities and other municipalities, small and large, that face corrupt or allegedly corrupt incumbents and people abusing the public trust, and that's got to be tackled.
Yes, gentlemen, an issue will be following for many weeks, months, possibly a year to come. Thank you so much for joining us.
Our pleasure.
Next, key Iraqi benchmarks are given low marks, why the Iraqi government may feel they've been set up to fail. That's coming up when New Jersey Now returns. Stay tuned.